Now this is the test you guys have all been waiting for. Should you go foldable, or should you go with the S Pen? Today it's the S22 Ultra versus the Z Fold 3. Let's jump right into it. Okay, now starting off with the camera test, as always my favorite. The shots during the day, they're both really good. And in fact, in the bokeh effect, I almost want to lean towards the Z Fold 3. They're both really good though. I do give the bokeh effect a better rating on the S22 Ultra. It just looks a lot better if you look at the background. But the lighting looks so good on the Z Fold 3. Now when it starts, where the Z Fold 3 starts to fall off is as it gets darker, especially in the shot where the MCP logo is at the very top. You can see, especially if you look at the light, what it's trying to do is it's trying to almost artificially brighten up what looks like something that would be darker, and it overexposes the light a little bit, and you can see the over brightening for sure. As it gets darker, you'll start to see the colors and the lighting on the S22 Ultra just more true to life. However, the Z Fold 3 is not a bad picture at all. I mean, I would take any of these, honestly. The front facing I'm not really impressed with, front facing camera, but the rear looks really good. Hey guys, this is the front facing camera video test, 1080p, 60 frames per second. Now with the Z Fold 3, I'm using the closed front facing camera. So there's two front facing cameras, one when you unfold it, and then once when you fold it in and it's compact and closed, I'm using the outside camera. So if that makes sense, right? So there's that. Now here is that same test, but I'm using the one with the screen unfolded. And this is a front facing camera, 1080p, 60 frames per second. Something to note, the front facing Z Fold 3 maxes out at 1080p, 60 frames per second, while with the the S22 Ultra, it maxes out at 4K 60 frames per second. This is the rear facing camera. It is pretty dim outside. The sun is past the mountains. It's not completely set yet, but this is a rear facing camera for both, the main sensor basically, and this is 60 frames per second, 1080p as well. Quality looks great on both, to be honest with you. And then I'm just walking as well. Tell me what you guys think of the stabilization and the colors. The sun has gone down a little bit, so I just wanted to do a little bit more recording with the rear camera so you guys can see the difference. There it is. Let me know what you guys think. Beautiful day in Vegas, by the way, too. Over here trying to pretend to be California and stuff, man. Don't play with my emotions. Now, right off the bat, when it comes to usability, guys, they're both extremely usable. Performance is extremely great on both of them. They're both fast. This has 8 gigs of RAM, which is a Z Fold 3. This has 12 gigs of RAM, if you get the 12 gig model. And then one of the main differences is this is rocking the new Snapdragon 8th gen, 1st gen, whatever the heck you want to call it, processor. And then this is going to be rocking the Snapdragon 888. All in all, on a day-to-day basis, you're not going to notice a difference. They're both extremely fast. The thing that you will notice a difference on, though, is usability. And what I mean by that is how you use your phone. Now, this is a wider phone, so it is pretty hard to get used to that one-handed grip, using it, texting, etc. But it's still manageable, in my opinion. You can still use this with one hand and still be fine. This, on the other hand, if you want to use this with one hand, you literally can only use it when it's closed. If it's unfolded, it becomes very hard to do things, simple things like texting back people, trying to slide through apps and stuff like that. This is almost a mandatory two-handed phone. Something to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to multimedia consumption, speaker system, etc., this is obviously better because it's got a better display, bigger display, and it's cooler, don't get me wrong. But usability is something you want to think about, especially if this is your daily driver and you want to make this your main phone. You got to think about how you're going to use it on a day-to-day basis. And you can use it with one hand, but are you okay with just being on this screen primarily as opposed to something like this? Something to think about. Now, in regards to the battery life itself, This actually surprised me. I did an additional test today on the battery on the Z Fold 3, and it actually scored better than the S22 Ultra by almost 45 minutes. Now, I understand that these tests can vary, so for now we're going to call it a stalemate, a draw, but it is pretty cool to see that the battery life is the same as a 2022 Flagship on a dual screen phone. And I primarily use the open display, the fold open display. I don't really use the front display too much just because it's a little bit too small. So that was pretty impressive to see. Take a look for yourself. Now for my favorite part, we're going to be doing the speaker test. So we're going to be testing out to see which phone has the better set of speakers, and we will have to see here. Let me unlock this phone. All right, here we go. This is the Galaxy S22 Ultra. That's max volume right there. Pretty good. This is the Galaxy Z Fold 3. Here we go. Okay, let's go, Quan. Sound copyright me. Alright, which one do you guys think? I prefer in person. I know it's hard to kind of see over the camera or listen to over the camera. I prefer the Z Fold 3 speakers, and I love the placement of them right at the top on both sides. So when you have your phone open, boom, you got the speakers blowing out of both. Perfect. I don't think you can ask for more. Now, in regards to the display, you guys seen this is so beautiful. This display is everything. Look at this. It looks beautiful on this. You got everything right here. You can't really beat that, to be honest with you. Come on, baseball, why'd you cancel the first 2 regular season series? And it's the same thing with this over here. They both have really nice displays. If you take a look here, look at this. This is beautiful. Beautiful display on both. I can't say a winner. I think the quality is better on the S22 Ultra, but the way that the layout is on the Z Fold, like that tablet layout, and even though it's not the same quality, I feel like this display over here on the Z Fold 3 is still really good, so I give it up to both of them. Plus it's Samsung on Samsung, it's the best of the best. So when it comes to value, guys, you have the Z Fold 3 at $17.99 is what it starts off at, and the Galaxy S22 Ultra starts off at $11.99, but in actuality it's more like $12.99 if you want the same type of RAM and the same specs that the Z Fold 3 offers. Now when it comes to value, it's hard to say, or hard to justify the increase. Like, why are you paying more when it comes to the Z Fold 3? There's really only one reason why you're paying more, and the fact is you're just getting another display. That is the main reason. I think the camera is a downgrade compared to the S22 Ultra. It doesn't have the newest hardware that the S22 does, so that's automatically a downgrade. Battery life is pretty much the same. I mean, you guys saw the test. Everything is pretty much on par. You have a little bit better speakers, and I guess you have that flex factor, right? Where you can pull up, you can pull your phone out, and you can use the front display, and then if you want to flex a little bit, you can open it up, and people are going to ask you a million questions as to how does that work, right? So all in all, value is subjective. Some people prefer that. Some people don't mind not having the best camera or the best other specs as long as they have a big display, because maybe they just consume multimedia and that's all they really even care about. See, that's the cool thing about phones and smartphones, especially now. There is really not a best phone that is better than everybody, hands down. It really comes down to what you want to choose. Personally, myself, I mean, you guys have seen in my videos that I've posted, I love battery life, I love cameras, I love displays, and I love speakers. Those are like the things that I like in order. Camera, battery, displays, speakers. That's pretty much the main thing that I use my phone for. Everything else is important to me, like build quality and all that stuff, yes, but it's not as important or as much value as those things. So that's my take. If you're a tech guy and you just love technology and you think that Z Fold 3 just looks cooler, then hey, guess what? Get that thing. You're probably not going to notice a difference camera-wise because maybe that's not very important to you. But if you're looking for the best camera and best everything else aside from like screen size, then the S22 Ultra is for you. So that's my take. Hope it makes sense, guys. Hope it helps you guys. The Z Fold 3 is still a really fun phone. And remember, we're comparing this year's phone to last year's, this year's flagship to last year's flagship at the end of the year. So we're technically comparing dated equipment to new equipment. And I can't wait to see what the Z Fold 4 has in for it this year. Hopefully they just make it a full premium device where every aspect of the hardware is premium, the experience is better, and maybe they increase some of the things that Apple did. I think they did a good job, you know, changing the front display to 120 Hertz last year. We're gonna have to wait and see what they do this year. Hopefully they do a better camera, better battery life. If they just did those two things, it would make that phone really hard to beat. Like if that phone has better battery life and has a better camera than the S22 Ultra, then it's gonna make sense to even ditch the S22 Ultra and just go for that. But I don't know, I'm kind of hype already. I can't wait for it. I can't believe it's already March because this thing's coming out in August. So we're 5 months away from the new phone, right? August or September, but we'll have to wait and see. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys like the content, if you guys have suggestions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers with your guys' help. Let's keep it going, guys. Thank you guys for everything. We will catch you guys in the next one. And until next time, peace.